that's right. Halloween is almost here, and while it's all about the candy and costumes, keeping your little ghosts and goblins safe should always come first. Joining us this morning is Dr. Patrick Mulroney from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital to share some simple tips. So how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so you work in the ER, so you have seen it all, right? Okay, so let's talk about how we can keep these kids safe. Maybe starting with the fact that Halloween is on a Friday night this year.
Right.
So a lot of moving parts.
That's something that we really need to think about, you know, as parents of children. Friday night's a big deal, right? You know, Halloween's become an adult holiday as well as a kid's holiday. So the thing that I get most concerned about is all the traffic that's going to be going on in the neighborhoods. We've got Friday night football games, so people are going to be leaving going to football games. We've got adults going out to parties, and then we have the little goblins and ghosts trying to go out and trick or treat. So being very cautious on the road, especially in neighborhoods, is going to be important this year.
Yeah, so really, you know, try to keep your kids, maybe their costumes not too dark. Right?
Absolutely.
And like try to keep it so that the cars can see them.
Right. When we're thinking about kids choosing costumes, you know, you might go out this weekend, you might choose their costumes. What might look good in a store or might look good on the internet might not be great in the dark and to walk miles with. You know, one of the things that I say is that you should always have a light with your child. So put a glow stick on them, make them carry a flashlight, something that identifies them to cars. Yeah. Masks, not the greatest thing, right? Okay. So if you have a mask on, it can obscure your vision. It makes it so that it's harder to walk around. And then other things that parents should really think about, you know, is there a cape that's too long or is the costume too long? Could they trip? And then the last one we saw in the intro, kids with swords or spears or things like that. All the little boys want to fight with those things. So, you know, make a decision about that, but have a conversation before they go out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking of eye injuries.
Absolutely. Right? That, you know, you wouldn't hand your child a 2-foot projectile or a 2-foot sword to play with in the house, but on Halloween it's perfectly normal. So talking to them about that. Yeah.
So something else, since it is on a Friday night, you know, a lot of teenagers will be heading out. Maybe they're going to the football game. Maybe they're going to a party. And so they're new drivers. They need to be extra cautious because they may not be aware that there are little kids kind of darting across the street, right?
Yes, and you know, people with the littlest kids are going out before the sun even sets, right? But as the sun sets, it gets difficult. So if you have a teen driver, or even if you have an older child who's a driver, remember to remind them that they have to be very careful at this time, and they should be driving 10 to 15 miles an hour in neighborhoods. Yeah. You've got to leave early so that you don't feel like you're late and you're not rushing.
Yeah. So what advice do you have for maybe a family that's going out with kids when it comes to, you know, crossing the street? Should you hold their hands the whole time? I mean,
it's hard to do. I think being lit, you know, having a flashlight with you and then just keeping your head on a swivel.
Yeah. And what about those glow necklaces that kids can wear, right?
Anything that lights them up or is reflective, I think is a great idea.
Yeah,
and fun. Yeah, and fun for the kids, right? If you're giving them orange glow necklaces, that might make them happy as well.
Yeah, I've even seen, you know, the plastic pumpkins that light up. So really anything.
Or just drop a flashlight in the plastic pumpkin. Oh, but nowadays, kids are trying to get way more candy than that. They're carrying huge bags.
They are carrying the huge bags. All right, well, speaking of candy, something that I like to do after trick-or-treating and my kids, they wanted to eat all of the candy, you know, that night.
Right.
So, I mean, is that a good idea?
Terrible idea. Terrible idea. But one of the things I tell parents is, you know, bring some candy with you when you're trick-or-treating, because kids want to eat the candy while they're trick-or-treating. It's important to inspect the candy. You know, it's very, very rare for there to be something that happens with the candy, but you want to make sure all the packaging's closed. So don't let your child eat candy while they're doing trick-or-treating. Maybe have a couple pieces of your own candy that you could share with, you know, we're talking about, you know, the younger kids, grade school kids, but then go home in the light, check out all the candy, and talk about how much they should consume, because we don't want children with belly aches all day Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that, bringing your own candy, because there's no way that kid's going to wait to the end of the trick-or-treating.
No, we're handing chocolate to children.
Right, so that's going to have a Tootsie Roll in your pocket that you know where it came from.
Yep.
Good idea. And what are you looking for? I mean, I used to hear stories that like people would put razor blades and apples and candy. I mean, is this a myth or does it happen?
Unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah.
It is very, very rare, so I don't want people to be afraid, but this still happens. But, you know, so you need to look out for it. You just need to look out for it. So there's not a telltale thing, but just look for candy that looks like it's been tampered with. And then another good idea is know whose house you're trick-or-treating at. You know, you typically know all of your neighbors, but, you know, when your teenagers are going to the far reaches trying to get more candy, you know, probably want to keep them closer to home.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, inspect that candy. You can even make it a game. It could be like kids can separate into
Sort
colors.
it, yeah, exactly.
That's a great idea. These are amazing. amazing tips.
Thank you.
Your kids are older. Do they still trick or treat?
My youngest this year is going to scare at our house. We always put together a big scare zone with 5 or 6 kids and jump out on people. And that's our fun on Halloween.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. So how can people find out more information about the hospital, about tips and tricks, stuff like that?
They can absolutely go to our website, and we always have great information on the website for parents to learn more and learn about some of the things that we talk about at hopkinsmedicine.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you.